Hey everyone, Sebastian here, back again making more videos on the SAT. This time I'm doing questions that are the types of questions I heard were the hardest on the most recent SAT, the March one. They're not exactly the same questions because when I did that before, College Board struck me down and had my videos deleted. So I'm not doing that, but I'm doing questions that I heard are challenging. The same types, right? They're my own questions that I invented, but they're similar in style and subject matter. So there's going to be a triangles and similar triangles question, an exponential growth question, something with abstract percentages, and we have something with remainder value theorem, which is important for you, and a weird conversion as well, and something with quadratics. So a little bit of everything, but really these are the types, specific types that I heard were the hardest. So we'll start with this. Triangle LMN has points O and P along LM and MN respectively. OP is parallel to LN. LO is 6 times the length of OM. LN is 42. What is OP? So I think the hardest part of this question is drawing it out. So let's start with that. L, M, N, and we're told OP is parallel and O is along LM. So let's say O. And P is along MN, so that's going to be here. And they're parallel. Okay, and then LN is 42. And LO is 6 times the length of OM. What is OP? So this is X, right? This would be 6X. And because these lines are parallel, that makes this little triangle here, represented by the pink, right, similar to the big triangle represented by the blue. Okay? So what you're going to do is set up a proportion, right? Because similar triangles are proportional. So the total here is 7x, and the total on the bottom is 42, and this is the part. So it's going to be x over 7x equals OP over 42. OP always makes me think of original poster now because of Reddit stuff. So 42x equals 7x OP. So OP equals 42 over 7, which equals 6. Okay, so I think the hardest part on this is just drawing it out, but just take each piece of information they give you bit by bit and make it, and then remember similar triangles are proportional, and parallel lines within a triangle makes for similar triangles. Okay, so if you have questions on this shape or any other types of shape questions, put that in the comments. I can always email you more information as well. So here we have a kind of abstract percentage question. A and B and C are positive constants. A is 6.25% of ABC. B is 20% of B plus C. C is 1,000% of A. What is A? So we could say A equals, convert the percentage into decimal, so 0.0625 A, B, C. Then you're going to divide by 0.0625 A, and you'll get BC equals 16. And then we're told B plus C, B is 20% of that. So B equals 0.2 B plus C, right? I'm going to convert it to a decimal. So we're going to get B equals 0.2 B plus 0.2 C, subtract by 0.2 B, and we'll get 0.2 C equals 0.8 B. Divide by 0.2 and we get C equals 4B. And we can plug that in to C here. So we're going to get, let's draw a line, 16 equals B times 4B. So we get 16 equals 4B squared, divide by 4. 4 equals B squared, square root. B equals 2, and we know it has to be 2, not positive, negative 2, because we're told it's a positive constant. So if B is 2, C equals 8, and if C equals 8, and we're told C is 1,000% of A, right, C equals 10A, 10A equals 8, so A equals 0.8. That's our answer there, okay? So again, they try to scare you with abstract things where it's just like pure letters and there's multiple equations. But if you go step by step, equation by equation, you'll be totally fine. Okay, so on this one, this is more abstract even than the last ones. When function f of x is divided by x minus m, the remainder is 5. What is the value of f of m? So we're going to be talking about remainder value theorem, which is the fact that when you divide by x minus a or x minus m, however you call it, the value you get as the remainder is the value you would get if you plugged it in. And I'm going to show you how it works and what I mean. So let's say I had x squared plus 2x plus 3, right? And then I was dividing it by x minus 2. So 2 would be sort of like the m here. When I divide whatever my remainder is, it's the value I would get when I plug in 2. So let's plug in 2 first and see what happens. We would get 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 3. That would get us 4 plus 4 plus 3. And that gets us 11. So when we divide, we should get a remainder of 11 according to this. So let's do that. And obviously you wouldn't want to do this on the test. It's not about that. I'm just doing it to show you how it works. So hopefully it sticks. So x times x gets you x squared. Negative 2 times x then is going to give you negative 2. When we subtract, right, we're going to get 4x. X times 4 gets you 4x. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Bring down the 3. And then when we subtract that, right, the negative flips it again. So it's going to be 3 plus 8, and we get 11 as our remainder, because x can't go into 11. So here, when we're told the remainder is 5, f of m should also be 5. And this is something I saw people struggling with on the test. The question wasn't exactly this, but it was about understanding this. And when the remainder is 0, that means it's a solution because it's crossing the x-intercept. So again, if you have questions on this, let me know. You could Google this or look at other videos for it. But if you understand this, it helps you on any questions where you're dividing by a factor, or you're trying to find a factor, or you have a remainder. Which shouldn't really come up aside from like the hard section, but you want to be in that hard section and try to do well in that one. All right, so in this one we have a sort of quadratic written factored out, and we have to work with that to find what m and n is. So in the equation above, m and n are integers. F of 12 is greater than 0, f of 18 is less than 0. What is the minimum value of m plus n? So sometimes they'll ask for maximum. You would need other information for that, but let's work on this here. So if it's positive, right? So we have f of x equals x minus m, x minus n. So when you have f of 12 is greater than 0, that means either they're both positive or they're both negative. So either both of them are below 12 or both of them are greater than 12. And then when it's less than 18, right, that means, or when f of 18 is less than 0, that means it's negative. So that means one of them is greater than 18 and one of them is less than 18. So what you could say is that m or n is greater than 18, and m or n is less than 18. And because at least one of them has to be greater than 18, and they're either both greater than 12 or both less than 12, that means m and n are greater than 12. Okay? So now we know one of them is greater than 12 but less than 18, and one of them is greater than 18. And I don't think it's going to matter which one is which because it's just m plus n, right? The order doesn't matter. So the minimum for each, right, since they're integers, would be one above 12 and one above 18. So we're going to have, let's say m equals 13 and n equals 19. And you can even plug it in and see what happens. So f of 12 is going to give you 12 minus 13, 12 minus 19, which gives you negative 1 times negative 7, which gives you 7. Okay, nice and clean. That gives you the positive that you wanted when it's 12, and then we plug in f of 18, and we want negative So it's going to be 18 minus 13, so that's positive, right? And then you're going to have 18 minus 19, which is going to be negative. And here will be 5 and negative 1, so that's going to give you negative 5. Okay, so it worked for both, and then the minimums, because it's asking for minimum, right, is 13 and 19. You can't go below 13, because if you go below 13, you get to 12, that would be 0. If you go below 12, it just throws off the equations. And then same thing with n. So you're going to do m plus n equals 13 plus 19 equals 32. If you have questions on this one, let me know. These have come up a lot. I've done variations on this type of question for months now because it's something that people are always asking about. So I'm happy to go over it again. And now let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this is the one with exponential growth. A population of deer in a certain forest in 2020 is 12,000. The deer population can be modeled by dx equals 12,000 times 1.03t, where t is the number of years after 2020. Round to the nearest integer. How many more deer are in the forest in 2023 than in 2022? So you just want to plug in, right? So 2022 t equals 2. 2023 t equals 3, and we'll plug that in. So we'll do 12,000 times 1.03 squared equals 12,730.8. And now you're going to do 12,000 times 1.03 cubed, and that's going to give you 13,112.724. And now you're going to subtract them to find the difference, right? So you'll do 13,112.724 minus 12,730.8. And that's going to give you 381.924, which when you round gets you 382. And I think the mistake people make, aside from plugging in the wrong values here or not knowing which values to plug in, is thinking like, oh, it's just 3% a year. 3% of 12,000 is just going to be 360. It's an exponential growth function, right? So every year it's going to be bigger and bigger because it's not 3% of the original 12,000. It's 3% of the previous year, okay? But if you know how to do this one, then you'll be fine on questions like this and you should be feeling good. All right, and here's a last one. I heard about a question that was having you convert from Fahrenheit to Kelvin, but I'm making up one where you have different measurements of mass. So in the country of Danka, there are 3 systems of measurement for mass, Da, An, and Ka. To convert from Da to An, the equation is A equals 3.2D plus 32, where A is An and D is Da. To convert from An to Ka, the equation is K equals 9/4 A minus 4, where K is Ka and A is An. If something has a mass of 320 Ka, what is its mass in Da? So let's find 320 Ka, right? So plug that into the second equation. So we're going to get 320 equals 9/4 A minus 4. Add 4 to both sides. And you will get 324 equals 9/4 A. And then multiply by 4 9ths on both sides. You're going to get 324 times 4 over 9 equals A. Divide by 9, that gets you 36. 36 times 4 is 144 equals A. And now once we have A, we could plug that into the first equation and find it from there. 144 equals 3.2 D plus 32. So subtract 32, subtract 32, and you'll get 112 equals 3.2 D, and then divide by 3.2, and you'll get D equals 35. Okay, so this is again about just using 2 equations. They make it abstract, they make it separated with 2 equations, but if you're just careful and work with confidence, you'll be totally fine. So if you have questions about this, I'd be happy to help you in the comments. If you have specific questions you want to go over, I'm happy to do that in comments or emails. Remember to like and subscribe. I've done prediction videos before, so you can see how accurate I was. And I'm going to be doing a prediction video for the May test, along with my usual review questions and just making these core classes where you can lock in and do great on the test. So I hope you're feeling good about this test and not too stressed, and I hope it's sunny where you are, and if it's raining, I hope it's cleaning your windows and watering your plants. Bye.